Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the next part of this series, the Celebrity Natal Charts. We are looking at people with the sun sign of Aquarius. And I never really riffed on Aquarius before. Aquarius. Of Aquarius, and today we are looking at the chart of Ashton Kutcher, I believe, right? Yes, okay. So, Ashton Archibald Kutcher, it's not his name. Ashton Archibald Kutcher was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, United States of America, February 7th, 1978. 12:30 p.m. birth time accuracy poor. So I'm once again looking at astro charts. So like I said, if this is not the right natal chart, this is the chart that I'm reading. His actual name is Christopher Ashton Kutcher. It's not Ashton Archibald Kutcher. Seven, being one of the seven is a number of being overwhelmed, but it is a strongly spiritually protected number. He's born 1978, which is the year of the horse, meaning that in spite of their short-tempered nature, they are optimistic, kind-hearted, responsible, righteous, and always ready to help others. In my belief, I think the horse is comparable to Gemini, but also you would think that Gemini would be more dexterous sign, whatever. In my mind. But I know a lot of horses, they're really strong people, really strong communicators, whatever they want to be or not. And I thought that was very synchronistic that he was born in the year of the horse. Oh, that's the reason bio. Baba Ashton Kutcher. Christopher Ashton Archibald Kutcher, February 7th, 1978, year of the horse. Is an American actor, producer, investor, and former model. Kutcher began his career as a model. He began his acting career portraying Michael Kelso in the Fox sitcom That 70s Show, which aired for 8 seasons. Okay, so Ashton Kutcher. See, this is where, when you look at a natal chart, and it has all these, lines and conjunctions and trines and things going across it, and it looks like the Charlie Day meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's that's how the coalescing and the correlations between astrology seem at the same as well. So we just did the chart, or I just did the chart of Michael Jordan. He portrayed Michael Kelso on the Fox sitcom That 70s Show. He's born on the 7th, 7. Which aired for 8 seasons on television. So, to me, and his birth time accuracy being poor, that story just now sounds like somebody with a rising Cancer, who would have that Neptune potentially, or just what was it, the Neptune, or the something is it Neptune or some, I don't know, but something about something with his eighth house, Neptune in his eighth house, being on television, making you famous, like Neptune in Scorpio, or Scorpio in the something house, fifth house. No, because I don't know, something I saw, but anyway, so that's something that I would see there versus what I saw in Michael Jordan's chart versus his life, and what I'm potentially going to see in Christopher Ashton Kutcher's chart in his life. And then the 8 seasons just kind of made me think of eighth house. Okay, so he has a rising Gemini. He has a horse. Those are both sort of Gemini. Cedar Rapids sort of sounds very equestrian, And then I was calling it Aquarius. Remember? That's his chart. That's astrology, and I'm done. So he also has Jupiter in Aquarius, and I suppose. Oh wait, we're looking at his. Well, he has Jupiter in Gemini. So I misspoke, but actually spoke correctly because we're talking about his rising in Gemini. And he has Jupiter and Gemini in retrograde, or as I also see just as like simply being like reverse. So he doesn't like to talk about. So as I was seeing in Harry Styles' chart, Harry Styles likes to talk about how lucky he is. And this is just maybe not to say that Ashton Kutcher never says or has never said that he is lucky. It's just something that he maybe is not fully actually aware of, or something that he doesn't like to talk about, but he does. As you know, sometimes we don't like to talk about things, but we still have to talk about them. Because maybe he like doesn't want to talk about his luck or fortune because he might feel like it jinx it. He might be somewhat of like a reverse fortune type person or reverses people's fortunes. Uh, but then also this position is comparable, I think, to like Justin Bieber and Justin Bieber and Adam Levine, who also have Jupiter in the first house, and they're like handsome guys. I mean, Adam Levine's a handsome guy. Ashton Kutcher's a handsome guy as a model. Justin Bieber's a handsome guy. Sure, sure, sure. Go to Jupiter in the first house. And okay, so that's him. And then so in the second house here we have Cancer. So as the rising Cancer, like Cindy Crawford and I think Michael Jordan we just did, their thing is to be famous and to get away from their parents as much as possible. With the rising Gemini and the horse, I suppose, this particular Gemini horse, is to their biggest priority should be like to take care of their mother or mother type figures and to nurture nurture people like a mother. So that might be something that they don't want to do, something that brings a lot of difficulty to them, but it's also for him, will bring him like the most like luck and fortune. In his third house of Leo, so he might actually like to talk about how famous he is. He's like, I'm not, he doesn't talk about how lucky he is, he likes to talk about how famous he is, the luxuries that he receives from Hollywood. He like, because it attracts more of it, like I'm on yachts and I'm flying to Barbados and I'm here and I'm there and I'm everywhere. Um, let's see, third house in Leo. He also has Saturn in Leo, which I guess is maybe a limitation. Maybe people don't like it. Maybe it actually brings him a lot of misfortune. Um, so I guess maybe there's a lot of things that also that he wants to do. I don't know if it's like going to the grocery store or I mean I don't even know if that like that teeny bopper celebrities getting chased in public thing is even real. Maybe he would like for it to be and it isn't. But it's like his fame also brings him like a lot of limitations to what he wants to do. So I don't know. Like he might want to be like a nuclear physicist or something, or a NASA scientist, but no one takes him seriously because he's Michael Kelso from that '70s show. And I don't know. So in the Harry Styles video, I kind of like do a breakdown of all of the Aquarian celebrities that are on astrocharts.com. And I think for Ashton Kutcher, I just kind of said that he was kind of unapproachable. But he, like Jennifer Aniston, is another famous friend from another famous cast of Friends, that '70s show. I didn't even think about that. So he's very much similar to Kelly Rowland and whoever else I was just talking about. And okay, so that's his third house. And maybe that, like, I think he kind of came out of the era, like, just as this degree of Saturn and Leo is very faint. He sort of came out of the era where people would be pigeonholed for, not being able to transition from television to movies or whatever. And he had, like, movies and TV. He did everything. Has done, is doing. His fourth house in Virgo. So also like it's funny that I always look at the third house involving their like environment and childhood and like where they grew up. So he might have like grown up in Hollywood or like a showbiz family, third house in Leo, But I'm only reminded of that when I look at their fourth house, and he has a fourth house in Virgo. So I was like, oh, he might have like an academic, grew up in an academic environment, but whatever. So because that's the home, it's an environment. It's kind of like the same, sort of the same thing, you know. So maybe he like, you know, grew up somewhere and went to acting school or modeling school or received a lot of education around there early on from his mother. So perhaps his mother made a lot of sacrifices around her health or education, is why she should be his priority. Um, Six. So I mean, but also five. So no, actually, the fifth house in Libra, sixth house in Scorpio, fourth house in Virgo, fifth house in Libra, Pluto and North Node in Libra as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess like I think the movie that he did was with Mia Kunis, which is somebody that he was in a relationship with, Libra, Libra relationship, which helped him transition Pluto to North Node, creating other relationships and transitioning from being pigeonholed Saturn and Leo as Michael Kelso in that '70s show. And then with this Uranus and Scorpio, which we should be talking so much more about Uranus, but like Uranus, it's like I said, it's like the dissolving of borders. So maybe there is something very like maybe there's like a spiritual side of that '70s show that they never talk about. I know it's like they like smoke weed or whatever, but it's like innuendo, sort of. Uh, but I guess they could have broken down more borders or done more Aquarian things on that show. Maybe that's how he feels, or something to do with like occultism and humanitarianism. Um, yeah, so which I guess is also this fifth house. Yeah, fifth house in Scorpio with Uranus. It's like this connection to like occultism and spirituality for him, whatever his spiritual beliefs are somewhat of an obstacle in his life in their boundlessness as they don't really have like definition. So he might be a sort of like I'm a spiritual, not religious type guy, and the way that he's supposed to overcome that is that Neptune in Sagittarius. So Neptune in Sagittarius, in his sixth house. This says to me that like he might be on some like Tyler Oakley, like Hollywood medium, Teresa Caputo show, in which he has like something that kind of boosts his fame or something that resolves him of like a lot of guilt or shame or something like that. And it'll be like a really good moment for him. And that's even for him and Michael Jordan. I was like, oh, it's like weird. Like these charts, like they seem like more of the chart of someone who would be like a preacher or a priest, or somebody who would be like somewhat of like a TV like evangelist, like someone who talks about spirituality on television. And oh wait, okay, so like I'm thinking I'm reading this wrong, right? So one, because he is a rising Gemini, that means he should have a seventh house in Sagittarius, right? So actually retract what I said, and I can't do that in every video, but maybe that's Aquarius, like going back and forth. So he's a seventh house in Sagittarius, with Neptune as well. So like being famous on television with like your significant other or partner, like we already talked about Mia Kunis. Um, but this is also not like an equal house chart. So let's double check and make sure we're looking at this right. So I do another 10 minutes of things that are wrong. Yeah, Neptune Sagittarius. Neptune Sagittarius, seventh house. Libra. I said Libra was the fifth house, right? So the fifth house is where I look at obstacles, and the North Node and Pluto and Libra. So having the ability to change to be so it probably was an obstacle, transitioning from television to movies and doing other projects and like being respected as a businessman, being Michael Kelso, but also for leveraging and using your relationship, that celebrity side of it, having public relationships as well. Probably like somewhat of an obstacle. And then how we overcame that was, I guess, like Scorpio spiritualism and voodoo, boundless spiritual beliefs in voodoo. And then in his seventh house of Sagittarius, it's like being famous on television with your significant other, being a famous best friend, rising Gemini, and kind of sort of being like the speaker of the group. Okay, you get all the muck and the mire, confusion, and misplacement of those signs, but you did. And then you have the eighth house in Capricorn. Yeah, this is like I said, like still, it's like the chart of a priest, like a capitalist spiritual man. So like somebody who sells like spiritual work. Um, or a Scorpio thing. So maybe he's like an accountant or has like a really good accountant, has really good tax information. Ninth house in Aquarius. So ninth house in Aquarius is very like Martin Luther King, very humanitarian, especially with the sun, Mercury, and Moon. So there might be a lot of like humanitarian causes that he is very like passionate about, that he's like always talking about, and it makes him very emotional. But it's also like sort of his destiny. So it's not necessarily like Arms of the Angels, like Sarah McLachlan and her dog commercials, but it could be something like that. And I see that with him and Michael Jordan. So the same. I don't know. Oprah's in an Aquarius, Michael Jordan's an Aquarius, Ashton Kutcher's an Aquarius. The one thing that I was seeing with the Pisces celebrities, that these are people who like really disturb the zeitgeist and are like really cool. Like, they all sort of seem like they should be like very James Dean, wearing shades, even though I think James Dean is an Aquarius. You got like Flavor Flav, Justin Bieber, Adam Levine, Drew Barrymore, like all these like really cool, like interesting people. Where I feel like with Aquarius celebrities, they're more like very like wealthy humanitarian type people, which is like the Aquarius archetype. The only real other like celebrity sign stereotypes I have would be like Sagittarius, because Sagittarius always have like really like deep cult like followings that you think Pisces would have. But Pisces are very much like the Jesus Christ sign, like, and I guess like me tripping my wire. It's confirmation. I'm charging my laptop. But I think like Pisces is very much like the Jesus Christ type sign. It's like hated, and their heyday. Like how like Justin Bieber sort of is and was like celebrated for his youth, hated for it at the same time. Uh, and then Sagittarius sort of is like just like celebrated as like a genre, and has like it's like in their heyday they get all the praise, and then they when they change, uh, Pisces gets more praise. Um, I mean, before are we after praise? 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess so, because this is in his 10th house. 11, 12, right? Okay, yeah. So the moon, what is this? I think it's like Venus. I think Venus also. Let's go down here. Got Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius, and that is it says midheaven Aquarius as well. That's it. So yeah, like humanitarianism. Venus in Aquarius, in love with his friends. Mercury in Aquarius talks to his friends a lot. Probably how he's like about he's in love with them, or in this like tit for tat, back and forth, megara, I'll never say I love you relationships with his friends. Maybe in love with the entire cast of that '70s show. Um, 10,000 Pisces, 11,000 Aquarius. Very angry at his friends as well. 12,000 Taurus. Taurus talking about money. So like I was gonna say about Michael Jordan, that I had him correct, with a 12,000 Taurus, talking about money, thinking about money in general, resources. Perhaps thinking about his lack of resources, or maybe like things that dealing with like his father or his the aunts or uncles or something like that bring him a lot of like misery and sorrow. Sorry that I'm reading this backwards now, because I'm just trying to make sure I got the houses right. It's 11th house. We also have Chiron and Aries here, uh, which says to me that like he might be really good at like helping people make friends, but he has difficulty making friends himself. And so like he's really good at connecting other people, but has a hard time connecting with people. Has a lot of anger towards people in his network, and like he's sort of like an angry vibration or like energy about him. And then, like I said, like it's 10,000 Pisces. Like I said, these charts that they have with the birth time being saying accuracy poor makes sense to me because this does seem like more of like the chart of somebody who would be like a TV evangelist or like um, spiritual capitalist or something like that. Spiritual fat cat. Um, like clickbait title, Ashton Kutcher, a spiritual fat cat. Okay, but so this has been my analysis of Ashton. I don't think this is like my of Christian Ashton Kutcher's natal chart. If you would like a natal chart where you are highly respected, and I will not purposely, but you know, the Aquarius is the fool. They like a joke. You know, make fun of where you were born or your name. You can do so on my website, and like I said, like you book, and I do it, and you request the day. I can send it to you on a an unlisted YouTube link, and you can look at it for as long as you like. Stop, pause, play again. You don't have to just like get it on the phone one time. You can do so on my website, but I really like joking calling him Ashton Archibald Kutcher because it's hilarious to me. And that is it, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.